Fairy tales present children with an alternate reality and introduce the children to characters who they may aspire to grow into. However, not all tales aim to meet such desire. Older tales contained many acts of violence that modern-day parents would strive to protect their children from. As a result of this, many contemporary fairy tales are adaptations of previously told stories. For example, Disney's Tangled is a 21st century adaptation of Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm's Rapunzel. But what makes these tales so different from one another? In this video, I will explore how the modernization of aspects, specifically gender, affect the audience's overall perception of characters, emphasizing how characters from Rapunzel abide by preconceived gender stereotypes, while the protagonists in Tangled break existing stereotypes of each respective gender. I will directly be comparing the characters the King's Son with Flynn Rider, and Rapunzel from the Brothers Grimm with Rapunzel from Tangled. First, I'll explore the character of the King's Son. When he first encounters Rapunzel and her tower, the King's Son wishes to climb up but sadly cannot find a door. He rode home, but the singing had so deeply touched his heart that every day he went out into the forest and listened to it. The Grimm's brothers display the King's Son's personality traits of empathy and benevolence. Later in the tale, Dame Gothel banishes Rapunzel to the desert, and the King's Son was beside himself, and with grief and in his despair did nothing but lament and weep over the loss of his dearest wife. In these two examples, the King's Son displays his kindness and care for others. He embodies the stereotypical prince written in older fairy tales who embraces his sensitivity. Flynn Rider acts as a juxtaposing character to the King's Son as a common thief who is extremely full of himself, vain, and selfish.
No. This is bad. This is very, very bad. This is really bad. They just can't get my nose right.
And again, Flynn displays he's nothing like the King's Son, specifically when he takes Rapunzel to the snuggly duckling in an attempt to scare her enough that she will just give him his satchel.
Garçon, your finest table, please. Good sir, that's a lot of blood. Hey, you don't look so good, Blondie. Maybe we should get you home, call it a day. Probably better off. This is a 5-star joint after all, and if you can't handle this place, well, maybe you should be back in your tower.
His actions of bringing her to the snuggly duckling and referring to her as Blondie highlight Flynn's lack of respect or care for others, typical characteristics of stereotypical men. However, as the story advances, Flynn demonstrates the depth of his personality.
I have something for you, too. I should have given it to you before, but I was just scared. And the thing is, I'm not scared anymore. You know what I mean?
I'm starting to.
Unlike the King's Son and Rapunzel, Disney displays the complexity of Flynn. Flynn learns to embrace his emotions and places others before himself. Disney illustrates that it is normal for a man to care so deeply, and not all princesses need a prince, just someone who values them. In both versions, Rapunzel began as a beautiful, naive girl who longed for her freedom. Yet in Disney's Tangled, Rapunzel transforms into a confident individual who will go to many lengths to achieve her dreams. In the Brothers Grimm tale, Rapunzel is characterized and viewed only for her beauty, and known as the most beautiful child beneath the sun. Because she was never able to leave her tower, Rapunzel displays her inexperienced nature when she first encounters the King's Son. At first, Rapunzel was terribly frightened when a man, such as her eyes had never yet beheld, came to her. Through her continued lack of action when the witch cuts off her braids, banishes her to the desert, and the two examples mentioned prior, Rapunzel can be viewed as weak, displaying little to no growth of character. Rapunzel from Disney's version displays strength in overcoming Mother Gothel's deceit. When we first meet Rapunzel, she is cowardly. She allows Mother Gothel to disrespect her continuously, and after hitting Flynn with the frying pan, she hides behind furniture in fear. Over time, however, she gains confidence. It begins when she makes the deal with Flynn.
You will act as my guide, take me to these lanterns, and return me home safely. Then, and only then, will I return your satchel to you.
Despite not being taken seriously and having Flynn attempt to flirt his way out of her captivity, Rapunzel stands firm on her determination to make her dream become a reality. We see how her newfound confidence affects her personality when she pieces together her true identity.
I am the lost princess, aren't I? Did I mumble, Mother?
Rapunzel transformed into a confident young woman who fought for what she deserved. She composed herself in a commanding manner, yet still maintained her distinguishable kind-heartedness.